Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns is going down. We the talk of all towns. Look around, no frowns. Oh yeah, see time. We been sitting and just waiting. I want all of it. These people faking and they hating, just keep talking. You gon' feel us, they gon' hear us. We keep barking, Chris. And when it comes to Cleveland, we are all in this. Yeah. Kenny from Baker, some may say throw sauce not safer. Anton get a bad rap like Vader. Going deep, taking toss off like taper. This bro freak get smoke like vapor. To the house, oh yeah, see you later. We tougher than alligators. We'll beat you right now and later. Woo, woo. Gotta bless them flow cold like juice play. Yes, just know you might lose. These crazy call them typhoons. Can't block them, oh yeah, nice moves. Who the stop don't know, oh yeah, Pikachu. We really all hit the lose on every day. Just watch the news. Winning all day, okay, yeah, that's a new hobby. Got some nice new bodies. Our past records, we know it's shoddy. The city standing strong, we ain't never choppy. DP of the year, Miles should worry about your play survival. Yeah, we got Odell well. He maybe sold out some hotels. You can't be mad, we doing well. You know them jokes that they will tell. Now watch the stories they will tell. Only time will tell. Watch where you throw it. We got water and greedy. For these that we starving, yeah, quite needy. The Cleveland Legends, we about to be. There is no stopping me. I mean, that is how I got to be. Oh yeah, Bengals, they just kittens. Ravens flew away, they hidden. Oh, those Steelers, who they kidding? Play with us, you will get smitten. Okay, yeah, we in the kitchen, bout to bake up, start the mixing. Oh yeah, damn, that bowl is missing, wait. But we said, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns is going down. We the talk of all towns. Look around, no frowns. Oh yeah, see time. We been sitting and just waiting. I want all of it. These people.
The Big Play Reflog Show is brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News is the place to be for all your gaming needs with news, guides, walkthroughs, and reviews, including their featured article where their staff power ranks the top 10 Nintendo 64 games of all time. And remember, you can join in on the conversation and comment with your own favorite N64 games by using the Shack News Cortex and Shack News Reader. So if you're a gamer, Shack News is the site for you. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the handle @ShackNews and at ShackNews.com.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, the Big Play Reflog Show!
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I know damn now. Attack by Chuck. He's to the 10. He's still running to the 5. Dips out back left. He's doing it. Touchdown. Swing on the drive. Ready, flip. Away. Back to goal. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're doing those baseball.
It's time! The Big Play Reflog Show!
Welcome to a hard cut off there, the Big Play
Wow.
Reflog Show.
Hit the post on that one, Dave.
Woo, that's right. I am your host, Big Play Dave. It is Monday, October 4th. The Browns are 3-1. Mr. Chris McNeil is back in the studio. Studio B, by the way. We got you a new studio while you were gone. How are you, Chris?
Looks fantastic. They did a great job in this renovation, I'll tell you.
I would agree with that. I think we'll go from Studio B to Studio A, walk across the hall, switch it up here and now. Why not?
And now it's October. What happened? Baseball season's over. No more Indians. Now we're Guardians. Browns in first place. And we're talking pumpkins and fall weather and not so in very short days already starting. It's wild, man. We're turning the page here.
Cut it with the pumpkins.
What's wrong with the pumpkins?
As long as it's not on your head, it's fine. Nick
Oh,
Padell,
true.
what is going on, man?
Hey-o.
Heyo, what's going on, guys? Glad to be back. Happy Victory Monday to you both.
You as well. Nick, I got to ask, how was you were texting us watching the game? Everyone who watches this show knows that Nick doesn't like to watch with people.
He hates people.
His girlfriend made him watch with people. How'd that go?
Oh, we were watching on a stream. The stream was a little behind. We were watching with some people that probably weren't your everyday Cleveland Browns football fans. So it was something. I'll say that.
That's enough
He's-
out of that.
You're choosing your words very carefully here.
He knows
Yeah.
Kevin's watching. His girlfriend is watching. Kevin says McNeil's not in his basement anymore. No, we are on the 35th floor, downtown Cleveland, as we always have been.
That's right.
Kevin,
Right
yeah.
downtown.
Studio B.
Studio B.
Studio B. All right, we got a packed show, so let's get into it. So we're gonna kick it off with Cleveland sports headlines, brought to you by TSE Cleveland. We're gonna give away that greedy jersey you guys were just subscribing to the YouTube channel with. If you want to leave a comment, by the way, Periscope just ended, Twitter just started. They're having issues with live comments, so pop over to YouTube if you want to leave a comment.
Technical difficulties today? I haven't heard about that at all, Dave.
Especially, Twitter has been all right.
Twitter, yeah, it
the
slowed down a little bit because there were so many people that jumped over to Twitter. It was amazing because
Wild.
Facebook got shut down, Instagram got shut down, all of those, and they all went to Twitter. So Twitter kind of slowed down for a little bit, but they were able to meet capacity after a while.
I think the world would be better without Facebook. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I completely agree. No one missed it. Come on.
But
Maybe
what,
my grandma.
what would your uncle do? Yeah. All right, we're going to talk Browns, Vikings, our reactions quickly, not dwell on it too much. Even though it was a win, people are being a little bit negative, probably for good reason. We'll get into Baker, we'll talk Miles, we'll talk the defense, and then we're going to parlay that into our featured interview of the week. Dan Lobby joining the show from Cleveland.com. We'll keep going with the Browns, get his takes on what's going on in Cleveland, Ohio with our Brownies, our 3-1 Brownies. And then we're going Browns trivia. This is my new favorite segment, Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? We bring on one of you guys out there, 4 questions, win a case of Labatt, win a GV Art shirt. It's been interesting. We had our first winner last week, Chris. Our buddy Petro Rock.
Ah, that's fantastic. See what happens when I leave? People
And
win.
he aced it. He really aced it. Like, you got to give credit where it's due. He came ready, and he really didn't have much of a slip up at all.
We don't think that there was any cheating with Google. We think he was pretty clean too.
It was
Yeah.
very clean. Yeah,
Very
pizza
clean.
guy. Come on, he doesn't.
I will say Gab did give him a clue. I think was it Josh Gordon? And she's
Yeah, he
was
just
just
got
reinstated.
reinstated today. Like, thanks,
All right,
Gab.
Gab.
That about narrows it down to one person.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're going to get into Who Wants to Be a Billionaire. And I believe Alan will be joining us. Alan will be joining us on the show for that segment. Then we're going to get you ready for Browns Chargers. We are heading there. They're playing right now. I don't know. It's a dome, but there's lightning. I don't know exactly what's going on right now. But good preview of who we're playing. Justin Herbert and the Chargers going on right now. Nick, is that actually happening?
It is officially on. The weather
All right.
delay is over, even in the dome, and we've solved the lightning issue. The game is going on.
All right, there we go. So we will talk Browns versus Chargers, presented by MyBookie, give you our bets of the week, and wrap up with the best and worst tweets of the week. Let's get into some headlines, talk some Browns. Hey, Nick, give us a live read while I go try to find out who won. I forgot.
Go for it. Cleveland headlines are brought to you by our good friends at Total Sports Enterprises Cleveland. Tonight, for you guys subscribing to the YouTube page, we're giving away a signed Greedy Williams jersey. one of yesterday's heroes. Greedy came up in a big spot. So
He did.
everybody got to flood over to that YouTube page, though, because for this one, big interception jersey, you had to be subscribed on the Big Play Reflog YouTube channel for Greedy Williams. And Dave, your winner is...
Do we want a drum roll?
Oh, yeah, we want a drum roll.
All right.
Congratulations to Devin Lowe 123. You have won a Greedy Williams signed jersey.
There we go. Congratulations, sir. All right, look at that, Austin. He wants to know. Let's just get in right to this. Do you guys feel like JOK's rookie of the year so far on defense? Let's
Yes.
talk about the defense because that's what we want to talk about tonight with the 3-1 Browns after that win. Nick, how impressed are you by JOK?
I mean, I'm super impressed, as advertised. The only fear for JOK coming into the season was, is the coaching staff going to be competent enough to, find ways to use him? And we saw last year issues with, in Arizona with Isaiah Simmons in that kind of hybrid linebacker safety thing. But Joe Woods has found a way to use JOK even a little bit undersized. They just let him be lightning in a bottle and go all over the place, all over the field and make tackles. So to answer Austin's question, yeah, I don't see why he would not be defensive rookie of the year thus far. Obviously, they probably like Micah Parsons and what he's doing with Dallas just because it's Dallas. But if you're actually watching these games, JOK's looked awesome. And I put out on Twitter yesterday, it seems like he's just scratching the surface, and we could have found something really special there in the second round.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think about the defense? It's been a while since we've had, obviously Myles Garrett looked phenomenal last week, 9 sacks for the team. But this week, this looked like a dominant defense.
It sure did. Keeping the pressure on Kirk Cousins, getting a turnover late, not allowing Minnesota. And let's be honest, I mean, Kirk Cousins, he can play a little bit in this league. He's done
good.
it for years. And, if they get going in the right direction, that could be a good offense there for Minnesota, especially at home. And everybody was expecting it to be a quicker game. So you see the talent really moving down the field. And the Browns were able to stop that consistently all day. So, I think myself and a lot of people in Cleveland are now looking back at our comments about one Joe Woods here through week 1 and week 2 and saying, wow, maybe we were wrong. Maybe this guy is getting something together. And really, we had talked about it before. There's a lot of talent on this defense, and it was going to take a while with so many new starters to come together. And it looks like that is happening. It's happening just as we thought it would. And, Joe Woods seems to be the guy that's making that happen right now. So I have to go back with some egg on my face and happily say that perhaps we were wrong. He is the guy for the defense. Keep it up, because God knows we're not getting much from Mr. Baker Mayfield on the other side of the ball, as Baker was very quick to comment and point out himself. And we need that defense right now. And when we get to the end of the season, I'd much rather have a defense like that than an offense that we think is, really high powered, because that can go away real quick. Defense seems to stick around when you get to the playoffs and you get to bad weather. So that's a real positive for me.
Yeah, so Cammy Justice tweeted this out. Baker Mayfield credited the defense for getting the win, calling his day a piss-poor performance, saying that, playing like that's just not going to cut it. Chris, where are you at with Baker right now?
Well, I'll tell you, usually in those post-game pressers, he gives us something to put on a T-shirt. I don't think piss poor performance is going to be getting people excited. So we need to have our man turn it around. I don't know. I mean, all the whispers about him are that he's hurt, right? That shoulder injury from after the interception is really bugging him, and he's got some sort of a brace, and that may be causing some problems. We hear about a rift between him and OBJ, of course, and that's kind of the old news that just kind of continues and lingers out there. I don't know. What I do know is he has been just way, way off target. I mean, now he's not only overthrowing people, but he's also added a new element to his game where he's far underthrowing people as well. So it's nice to see the change up.
Doesn't throw to the open person.
Yeah, and then he's not seeing people. Oh, my God. I mean, That there were several plays where you're just yelling at the TV, and if you could see the guy open on the network broadcast, then you know it's really bad and Baker's really blind out there. There are several plays where you're like, what is he looking at? There are so many, just short routes right in front of him for first downs, let alone when you go to the all 22 and you start looking at OBJ down the field being open all day and some of the other receivers down the way. So, boy, oh boy, Baker, hopefully this is an anomaly for Baker and he'll turn it around and maybe that shoulder will feel a little bit better. But whew, that was brutal, man.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen good Baker. We've seen the lasers. We've seen him throw the darts. We've seen him be accurate. So Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they have crappy games as well.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can read too much into it. He's not Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers yet. I don't think he ever will be. But I think he's going to be our quarterback for the next 10 years. I would put a lot of money on that. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's good enough, especially with how good this team is. We don't need him to be that good on this team. We could win just like we won last week. It's not fun, but we can do it. So we'll see. Let's move on. Real quickly, I wanted to bring up Jake Trotter's tweet here. He was on the show with you guys a couple weeks ago. In the AFC North standings, 3-way tie for first, 1-way tie for last.
Fantastic shade. Well done, Jake Trotter. A little bit of shade at the Steelers.
They're distancing themselves as well, guys, into last place. It seems very top heavy up top, and the low feels pretty low down there at 1-3 now. So we'd love to see that trend continue.
That's right. All right, let's keep it going. We're gonna have our featured interview of the week, Mr. Dan Lobby, joining the show here. Let's bring him on in and talk some more brownies. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Browns reporter for Cleveland.com. Friend of the show, making his way on back, Mr. Dan Lobby. How are you, sir?
Doing well. That picture just makes me realize that I really need a haircut sometime.
It's been a long 2 years, Dan. It's been a long 2 years.
I mean, I actually got one not that long ago, but man.
Oh, that's hilarious. How you been?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're doing good. We were just talking about Baker Mayfield. Thoughts?
Yeah, you and everybody else, right? It was a struggle yesterday for Baker, and I was kind of listening to the stuff you guys were saying. I mean, some of those missed throws and just being there in the stadium and watching, Odell was available on 2 of those misses, and the Felton play still stands out to me too.
Yes.
When he had Demetric Felton right in front of him and decided not to throw the football, and it was just so un-Baker like for him to not have the confidence to even make that sort of throw. So everybody's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. I don't think it's any reason to panic. I think it was just a bad game. The shoulder might be a factor. He doesn't want to use it as an excuse. He hasn't shown up on any injury reports with it. So I don't know how big of a factor that is, but I tend to think what we've seen the last 2 weeks is an outlier from Baker and not really any reason to panic about him.
Is it OBJ's fault?
You would go there, Chris.
I just got to straight up ask him, is it OBJ's fault?
Yeah, Chris, I got to tell you, I don't think it is. And I think that one of the positive signs is even on those misses to Odell Beckham, it didn't feel like Baker was forcing the football to him. And I think that's sort of what everybody looks for, right? Is he forcing the ball to Beckham, or is he letting those plays kind of come to him and develop? And, I think they were just misses yesterday. I don't think it was a situation where he was forcing the football, where Odell was in his ear telling him to get him the football or anything like that. And I think that's an encouraging sign moving forward, that Baker still seems like he's in control of this offense. And, he'll go to Odell when he's there, but he's not going to feel forced to do it.
Do you think he's taking too long to throw? Because, you look at some of the really good quarterbacks in the league, like Tom Brady, he gets it out really quickly. Do you think he's been in the league for a while now. He's looked really, really good at times. Do you think he's still taking too much time to process his reads, or he's just kind of second guessing himself?
I sort of think this is just who Baker is. I don't know that he's ever been like that quick release guy in the NFL. He's usually, and part of it is because he uses his legs and kind of moves around in the pocket and creates space. He's never been kind of that get the ball out quickly guy. There have been, stretches where you can probably point to some times when he's sort of been like that, but he's always been a guy, when you look at the time to throw numbers, they've been a little bit on the high side. And I think part of that is, and I know this can be a sensitive topic with Baker, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I think part of it is, he is a shorter quarterback, and sometimes he doesn't see over the line as well. And that maybe slows things down a little bit. And he's great at working around it. He knows how to play the position at his size, like Drew Brees figured out, like other guys have figured out. But I think sometimes that results in maybe the ball not coming out quite as quickly.
Dan, what did you make of what did you make of Kevin Stefanski's day yesterday? Because some of the aggression, it's when it works, it's beautiful on fourth down, and you're an analytical genius. And when it fails, you're a nerd that looks at the math too hard. So what did you make out of Kevin Stefanski yesterday?
I love the aggression. And
Same.
I think a big part of it was he didn't think this was going to be a 14-7 game. I think he thought, like a lot of us, this was going to be a game that I think the over-under was like 52 or 51.5 or something. I think, like a lot of us, if he were a gambling man, he'd have taken the over. I think he wanted to take points not take points, but get touchdowns wherever he could get them, sort of like against the Chiefs. And frankly, I think this is going to be the identity of this team. They're going to be aggressive on fourth down. I love now that twice this season, when there's been a penalty on the extra point, he's decided to enforce it and go for 2. That made a difference yesterday to kind of get that extra point there, going for 2 points instead of enforcing that penalty on the kickoff. So I think this is who Kevin Stefanski is. I don't think it's just an analytics thing. I just think he's aggressive. And I think he understands that, if you stay aggressive and you're consistent over the long run, you're going to produce more points. Now, it might not happen every single week. There might be some weeks where you go 1 of 4 on fourth down, but just over the course of 17 games, you're going to end up scoring more points because of that aggression.
And then talk about that.
I was second guessing him on 4th and 4, and then I was like, all right, I'm an idiot. Like, this is probably going to work out over time.
Yeah, well, and look, when you have a guy,
When
you have a guy like Kareem Hunt that can convert a 3rd and 20 on a draw play, that makes your life a whole lot easier too.
You heard from Kevin Stefanski today, Dan. What's kind of the latest out of Brio with Jedrick Wills and Greg Newsome, some of the injuries that the Browns sustained, not only, yesterday, but also earlier in the season?
I think they've reached a decision point with Wills. It stood out to me that they've really praised him for playing through that injury over these last few weeks. And I think there was a part of them that wanted to sort of instill that toughness and kind of send that message that, like, hey, you're an offensive lineman. Look at Joe Bitonio, look at J.C. Treader. These guys don't miss snaps. And, J.C. Treader played through a high ankle sprain a few years ago, and it was nasty. He was really having trouble getting out on the field every single week, but he managed to do it. I think they wanted to instill that a little bit in Jedrick Wills, but I think they've reached a point now where he got an MRI today. It was the second time he was carted off the field. The first time was in Kansas City. This time was the second time here in Minnesota. I think they're going to have to make a decision this week as to what they're going to do with him. And this could finally be the week, especially if Chris Hubbard is good to go, where they feel comfortable sitting Jedrick Wills down. As far as Greg Newsome, I would imagine we'll get a better idea towards the end of the week. The fact that they didn't put him on IR tells you all you need to know, that they think he'll be back, obviously within that 3-week window, so they didn't need to IR him. So I think there's a chance maybe he could be back this week, but if he's not back this week, I would imagine he'll be back against the Cardinals.
Yeah, even without him, the defense looked phenomenal. We've got Monday Night Football going on right now. Justin Herbert's having a hell of a season. Put this defense up against him. How do you think it's going to do?
This is just another great test for this defense. I loved what they did on Sunday, because when you looked back at the Chicago game, you could say, okay, it was a rookie quarterback and Justin Fields and a head coach and play caller who just didn't want to put Fields in the best position to be successful. And credit to the Browns defense for absolutely dominating them. That's what you're supposed to do. But then for them to go on the road against Minnesota, against an offense that was scoring like crazy, putting up 400 yards every week, to shut that offense down like they did, that really sent a message. And now you get to go against Justin Herbert, who, is one of my favorite young quarterbacks in the league. I know, the Chargers are like everybody's side team, I think, and they're an exciting team. They can score a ton of points. And so again, this is just another chance for this defense to prove itself against a really good attack. Over the next 2 weeks here with the Chargers and then the Cardinals coming to Cleveland, we're going to know a lot about this defense after the next two.
So once again, the special teams, Chase McLaughlin, looked pretty good. Do we finally have a kicker?
It sure feels like it, and it's funny because nobody actually wanted to say he was their kicker for a long time.
Right.
After Cody Parkey got hurt,
Oh, yeah.
there were a couple times when I would ask directly, like, "Hey, is Chase your kicker?" And all you get back is, "Well, he's still competing," and all of this, and finally Kevin Stefanski said, "Yeah, he's our kicker this week going into the Kansas City game." I think Chase McLaughlin has pretty much locked that job down now for the rest of the year, barring some sort of disaster or massive hiccup.
So it's amazing right now. We're a quarter of the way through the season. I mean, if you were to kind of look back and say, okay, quarter of the way through, where do you think the Browns are compared to where you thought they would be? Are they about on par with where you thought they'd be? A little behind, a little ahead? Where do you think this team's at right now?
I mean, record-wise, I think they're exactly where I thought they would be. I figured this has actually played out kind of how I thought it would. I thought they would lose in Kansas City, win those next two against Houston and then the Bears, and then probably split these two between the Vikings and the Chargers. So, they're right on pace for that, and they can prove me wrong here on Sunday by beating the Chargers in LA. So record-wise, I think they're where I expected them to be. The strange thing is it's kind of flipped offense and defense as to where I thought they would be. I thought this would be a high-scoring team that was putting up points like crazy, and the defense would take time. And, maybe we'd be into late October, early November, before this defense kind of got things figured out and got things rolling. But that's the one thing that's a little surprising to me is it's been all about the defense here in these first 4 weeks and not the offense. But I do think that offense will get rolling. And the one thing that I think is really important is Jarvis Landry. I think Baker really misses Jarvis Landry. And I should have mentioned that earlier because he's kind of Baker's security blanket. We love to talk about Rashard Higgins, but it's really Jarvis. He'll make any throw to Jarvis Landry, and Jarvis will usually catch it. And that helps Baker out a lot. So I think once Jarvis gets back and comes off IR, I think that's going to help Baker out a lot too. So I think this offense will get going here soon, but a little surprising that it's kind of played out the way it has.
How about the rest of the division? Anything in this division kind of surprised you? Obviously, we've seen the Steelers that were all kind of dancing on the grave, hopefully dancing on the grave of the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. You've got two teams that we're tied with right now in the Bengals and the Ravens. What do you think about the rest of the division right now?
Well, I mean, I've got to say, I was out on the Steelers, back in the spring. I just didn't love what I saw from them after, they got off to that undefeated start, but they didn't beat anybody. And then it just fell apart after that. And the Browns just smoked them in the wild card round. And they didn't do anything to address what they brought Big Ben back. Well, it looked like he was done. They drafted a running back, but their offensive line is still terrible. There was just nothing there that said to me this Steelers team is going to be good now. I think they'd get off to a last place start. I don't know about that, but I wasn't real nervous about them. The Bengals, great story. I don't know how sustainable it is. So, I don't think Browns fans, that's a really good offense, but I don't know if that defense can hold up over the course of 17 games. To me, it's still the Browns and the Ravens. And I thought the Browns would win the AFC North. I still believe they can win the AFC North. I don't think we'll really get an answer for that until they play in those 2 games over 3 weeks. But even though the Bengals are on top, the Steelers are on bottom, maybe both are a little surprising, I still think this division comes down to the Browns and Ravens.
Dan, last time,
yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, last time we chatted, we talked about some of the complications with your job mid-pandemic, and we obviously still are in a pandemic. How's it been this season, covering the team and at least having some sort of in-person interaction with these guys?
It has felt a lot more normal. And, it's funny, we're meeting people like face to face for the first time. And we've talked to them on Zoom for, some of these assistant coaches, coordinators. We did get a chance to meet Kevin Stefanski before everything shut down last year, but meeting some of these guys face to face for the first time is sort of strange after a year, but it's been great to be back, being able to ask questions in person, being able to sit down and do one-on-one interviews with guys when we're able to get to them. Post games are still a little weird. We're obviously not allowed in the locker room after games, so they bring guys out. It's very NBA style right now with kind of how we have to do post game stuff. But it was funny. Greedy Williams walked into the interview room yesterday, And he looked out and saw some of us from the Cleveland media. He said, "Oh, I didn't even know you guys traveled." So that's how weird last year was, that he was surprised to see us on the road, being able to ask him questions after that game. I don't know if he was expecting a bunch of Minnesota reporters or what, but it's not completely normal, but it sure feels a lot more normal than it did a year ago.
So, Dan, where can everyone find all your stuff, all the interviews, all the articles you guys are writing out there?
Cleveland.com/Browns is the place to go. Stuff runs in the Plain Dealer too. And we've got a podcast of our own called the Orange and Brown Talk podcast.
Nice. Is that everywhere? Spotify?
Yeah, you can get that anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and definitely on Apple and Spotify for sure.
Nice. All right, last one before we let you go. We got to get a prediction out of you for Browns Chargers. Stefanski was talking. I heard him, I think it was this morning, talking. This is going to be the week where they try to get the passing down, get Baker right. Any chance at a shootout before your prediction?
Well, I got burnt last week by saying there would be a shootout on Sunday, but I'm going to do it again. I think
people did.
I think this could be a high-scoring football game. Both these teams, talking. I already said Justin Herbert, a guy I really like. I think Baker will start to get on track a little bit. The Browns can run the football. My biggest concern is what they're going to do at tackle. You're going to have to deal with Joey Bosa and that Chargers pass rush, and that worries me a little bit. But I think this is going to be a track meet. Chargers have a short week. I guess I'll stick to what I said earlier. I thought the Browns would split with the Vikings and Chargers, so I guess I'll pick the Chargers, and I hate to be that guy that does that, but nothing would surprise me on Sunday. And then I'm really excited about that Cardinals game after that. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right,
hopefully everybody else there at Cleveland.com also picks against the Browns, so you can have the Dallas Cowboys situation too.
That's the plan. We're just trying to help everybody out.
That's right. The reverse jinx. Well played.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the time. As always, man. Keep up the great work. Go Browns, and hope to have you back on sometime soon.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Labbe, round of applause. A weak round of applause. Let me get that up. There we go. Picking them to lose, Chris. Picking them to lose.
That's good. That's,
It is good.
I respect that, to be honest with you, because I think just about every week I pick them to win. So, somebody's got to have some,
Right.
not be the homer, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Some integrity. That was the word I was looking for. He's got more integrity than I do.
Hey, that's all right. All right. Let's move on. We're going to get into some more Chargers talk here in a
We've
little
also got baseball cards, Dave.
We do. But Chris, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It is time
for a Drennan rant?
No. Oh, where is it?
It is. No.
Oh, yeah. You're an idiot. You're an idiot and you don't know baseball. No, you are an idiot. Listen, you're going to tell me you are judging. You don't know anything. You don't know squat, you stupid idiot. You're going to tell me you're going to make a judgment on the season after one game in 30-degree weather? That proves what an ignoramus you are. Get off our show.
The caller,
Courtesy
Dave,
of Bally's. Courtesy
the
of
caller was right.
He was
right.
he was bitching about Franmil not being any good.
That's okay. He was complaining about the offense. How many times were we no hit this year?
Yeah.
3.75.
3.75 is correct. Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, the caller was right. Bruce Drennan was wrong. Just wanted to point that out.
I don't want to talk any Indians. Let's
Bruce
give
Drennan was
Guardians.
the idiot that
Guardians.
didn't
The
know.
guards.
the guards.
Are we going to go with the guards? I'm
No,
thinking guards.
absolutely not.
We'll go
The
guards.
G's.
All right, the G's. There we go. We'll figure it out. We've got time. Let's get
Guards.
into some more Browns trivia. Let's give away some Labatt and GV shirts. What do you say?
Let's do it, Dave.
It is time for Who Wants to Be a Billionaire? All right, we are going to welcome in Browns fan Alan is going to be joining the show. Let's see if we can get him to turn his camera on here. I saw him earlier. And if you haven't played or you haven't seen this, here he is. Here comes Alan. Let's bring him on in to Who Wants to Be a Billionaire. All right, there he is. Alan, welcome to the
What's up,
show,
guys?
my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, each week, one contestant gets a chance to answer Browns trivia for a chance to win cash for a Labatt 6-pack if they want to move on to a 12-pack and then a 24-pack and one final question to take home the 24-pack and a GV Art shirt like the one I'm wearing, like the one Nick's wearing, like the one Chris is going to wear when it comes in the mail. All right.
I swear I will. Love this.
Alan, tell the people how long you been a Browns fan.
My whole life, unfortunately, but
Hey, man, it's getting better. It's getting
good
better.
times coming now. Good times coming now. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is.
Heck
I
yeah.
love an honest man right there.
All right, how confident are you in Browns trivia? Because we've got Browns trivia, and it's going to be centered kind of around the Chargers a little bit here.
Okay. Semi-confident. We'll see.
I like it. Okay, here we go. You got a lot on the line. If you get stuck, we're going to give you a hint. If you really get stuck, you can phone a friend, call them on speaker. They have 5 seconds to answer after you read the question.
Okay.
Are you ready for question
Gotcha.
number 1?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Question 1. For a 6-pack of Labatt, which former Kent State basketball player is the Chargers' all-time leader in receiving yards and touchdowns?
I believe that would be Antonio Gates.
Nice.
Well done, sir. Well done. And he's going backwards hat. Chris, do you have anything to say about that?
Mhm.
It's fantastic. I didn't realize that Gates
I'm
was
not.
the leader
I'm
in
not.
receiving yards.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh,
He
yeah.
played till he was like 45.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive for a tight end.
He was actually really good as a basketball player at Kent. I remember watching him.
That's the year that they made some tournament magic happen.
That's right. All right, Alan, you got a
I remember
6-pack
that.
Labatt. Now we're getting a little echo.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
All right, we're going to go on. Question number 2. Here we go. For a 12-pack of Labatt. All right, Browns and Chargers made a draft day trade in 1979, letting the Chargers move up 7 spots to select this future Hall of Famer. His son later went on to be a first-round draft pick of the Browns. Who is that player?
Oh my God.
I'm going to repeat it because that was kind of a lot. So the Browns
Right.
made a draft day trade in 1979, moved up 7 spots to get this Hall of Famer. His son later went on to be a first-round pick of the Cleveland Browns.
It's a good year.
I will give you a clue. We do not claim his son
Yes,
anymore.
please.
We do not.
Yeah, I have an idea. Gonna take a shot in the dark. Maybe Kellen Winslow.
Woo!
Junior,
That's the
obviously,
winner
or-
right
yeah.
there.
Woo!
Nice work, man. Nice work. All right, you got a 12-pack of
That was a little
Labatt.
hard.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Would you like to continue on for a case for cash for Labatt? You got 12 Labatts.
Yeah, screw it.
12 old Labatts. All right, here we go. We're moving on.
Go big
Question
or
number
home.
3. Which former Browns defensive lineman blocked a Chargers field goal to prevent the 2016 Browns from going 0-16?
I wanted to marry this man that night. I was so happy.
Here's a clue. He's from Parma.
That was from Parma. Son of a bitch.
The
Correct
Christmas
me.
Miracle.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He played in the MAC,
It
right?
was, yeah. I'm drawing a blank. Damn.
You can phone a friend.
I'll do you one better. He didn't play in the MAC, Dave.
He didn't?
He
No.
played locally, but not in the MAC.
All right, tell me the school now. I'm curious.
Ashland University legend.
He played at Ashland? I thought he played at Akron.
Wow.
Ashland University.
Wow.
Hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Some
Look
would
at-
call him the pierogi prince of Parma.
No one's getting this. There's no way.
No?
Like, yeah, how? I'm ashamed I don't know it. He's obviously a Browns hero.
I mean, kind of.
I mean, yeah, infamous.
No, if he saved, well, yeah, we went on 16 anyway, so I guess it didn't matter.
Yeah. He didn't save me all day. So.
1 in 32.
Oh,
Good
man.
work. Good work, you.
Nah, couldn't overcome.
Is there anyone
BJ.
you want
Yeah,
to?
I
Is
don't-
there
I don't
anyone
even
you
think I
want to
have any
phone?
friends that would know this either. No, I don't.
It's a tough one, man. It's tough.
Dave, there's no way I would come up with this.
Yeah, I came to my dad's house for this. So I can phone him, I guess.
All right, we'll give you one more clue.
Okay.
You can go ask him if you want. We'll give you 15 seconds.
Okay. Hey, Dad.
He's bringing us
Wow,
through
the
his
first
house.
ever phone a
This was
friend.
2016, right?
Correct.
The year was 2016.
Yeah, he blocked the Chargers field
Browns
goal
versus Chargers.
to prevent 2016 Browns from going 0-16.
A defensive lineman. It was a Christmas Day miracle. We won the game to not go 0-16. A Browns defensive lineman blocked the field goal at the end of the game.
From Parma.
He is an Ashland alum from Parma. Yeah, he said, "Wow." Yeah, I think we're stumped, guys.
Ah,
Oh, all right. The
I
answer.
gotta know who it.
Jamie Meter.
Jamie
Yes.
Meter.
See,
The
exactly.
defensive lineman. Yeah, he was. I guess. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, that's a good one.
all right, Alan. Thanks for playing, my man. We
Oh,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Big fan. Appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
Alan.
Oh, I thought he had it.
I did too.
the
Donnie
pierogi prince of Parma, man. I just tweeted about him because I
That's
was
a
like,
tough one.
yeah, this defense is so good. And a couple years ago, we were heralding the legend of the pierogi prince of Parma.
Shoot. That's tough. All right, we're going to have to talk to Nick G about these. These are getting a little too hard before
Come
the
on,
fourth
you guys
question.
wouldn't have known Jamie Meter?
No, absolutely not.
Not on the
Really?
spot. Not no. If I Googled it and yes, then I would know. But I don't think I would remember Jamie Meter. I blocked out all.
We
of
should have flipped.
2016.
It
I
looks
just
like-
remember that moment.
We should have flipped question 3 and 4.
Oh yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm. No winner this week.
Yep. Armchair Monday morning quarterback here on our quiz show.
Yeah. Kevin on YouTube says Ashland University legend. Meter was D2. I don't
There you
know.
go.
Why did I think he played in Akron? I got the A's mixed up.
The A's mixed up, yeah.
So,
Ashland
hey, can we play
University.
baseball cards now?
Absolutely. You got some music?
I do. Let me see if I can find it.
Hit it.
Let's see if I can find it. Oh, no. Where is it? Classic Tribe Baseball. There we are. So, Dave, this week I present to you the crossover event of the fall because I have 1 pack left of baseball cards
Okay.
Yeah.
and 1
Yes.
pack left of football cards.
Oh
So
my
we're going to do football versus baseball. How's that
versus
sound? Dave?
NFC. Perfect.
What?
Football versus baseball. So you
Wait,
pick
wait,
2
hold
dudes out
on.
of football, 2 dudes out of baseball. And, so whoever gets the better 2 dudes, right? Just the
How
same
do you-
rules
How
apply.
does Nick compare baseball versus
And I'm going to compare football because I know football way more than I know 90s
Well, there you
baseball.
go. Whoever picks the football pack
Wait,
is
wait,
going to have
Chris,
a
I
Well, I
deciding
shouldn't have
advantage.
said that.
Oh, I have an idea. Chris, what if you open the first pack, let's just say football. I will let you pick the first person.
Oh, so just go through it? Wait.
You have to pick someone within, let's just say, how many cards are there?
Well, let's see, Dave.
Probably like
On the
15.
outside. 15. 15 in this pack and 15 in this pack. So what if I just split them and we pick one baseball and one football for our team?
Yeah, so you open, let's just say you open the baseball. You get the first 7 cards.
Okay, I'm
You can
opening
pick any of
baseball
them.
right now. First 7 cards are mine. 1, 2. Wait, did I say I was opening? I opened football.
That's fine.
5, 6, 7. Okay, there's my 7 for football.
All right,
That
here we
leaves
go.
you with 8 there for football. So now baseball, I'm opening up. You will get 7 of those. I'll go right off the top.
Kevin wants to know the last question. We'll give it to you in a sec.
4, 5, 6, 7, and then I get the balance there. All right. So Dave, let's start you off with your baseball players. You've got Floyd Bannister from the Royals,
Who?
Dwayne Ward from the Toronto Blue Jays, Brian Downing from the Angels, Devin White, he wasn't bad, from the Angels, Luis Salazar from the Cubs,
Nah.
Jose Vizcaino.
Not bad.
We used to have him. Didn't we used to have him on the Indians? I think we did. From the
I don't-
Dodgers,
Yeah, I
and
don't
Tom Henke from the Blue Jays. And that is your pack.
All right, we'll go Vizcaino.
Vizcaino. I don't know if that's going to move the needle with Nick at all or not. All
So
right, we'll go
far,
to
we
my
got no
baseball.
dice. No
My
dice.
baseball. I've got. Who have I got? Joe Girardi. Hey, there you go from the Cubs.
All right.
All right,
That's
Nick
nice.
knows him. That's not good.
That's a
Mike
name.
Morgan from the Dodgers.
I will say I don't love how you didn't let me pick which ones I was going with.
Dave
Little,
Valle.
Little tomfoolery where under
Terry
that-
Mulholland. Let's see here. Luis Aquino, Carmen Castillo, Wally Whitehurst, and Randy Myers. Randy Myers isn't bad. I'll go with Joe Girardi. So we got Jose Vizcaino and Joe Girardi.
All right.
Now we're going to your football, Dave. Your football.
Why? So where have these cards been? Are they face up down there?
Well, they are, but I mean, you saw me. I didn't do anything below the table.
All
here.
right. All
I
right.
drew off the top of the deck.
There's a lot on the line, Chris. Okay.
Jerome Brown from the Eagles.
Okay.
Bill Brooks, wide receiver, Colts. Mike Harden, defensive back, the Raiders.
Oof.
Vince Newsom, defensive back, the Rams. Scott Redisick, linebacker, the Bills. Charles Haley, there, he's pretty good. San Francisco. Alonzo Highsmith, running back,
Wow.
the Oilers.
Heck yes.
And Greg Cragen, defensive lineman. Who
We're
do you
going
like?
Alonzo.
You're going
Alonzo
with who?
Highsmith.
Alonzo Highsmith.
And he
All
drafted
right,
my
so
guy for the Cleveland Browns. No
it's
longer
all
on the
going to
team.
come down to this. My football players.
Oh boy.
Dwayne Bickett, linebacker, Colts.
Who?
Ricky Reynolds. That's a good name. Defensive back.
You're really
From the
selling the
Bucs?
names to Nick here.
Oh, fantastic. Steve Grogan, quarterback, Patriots. Steve Grogan's fantastic. Neil Anderson, running back from the Bears. That's a good one right there. That could be a winner. Jim Jeffcoat, defensive lineman, Dallas. Morton Anderson, place kicker. Also a Hall of Famer, I believe, from the Saints. Otis Anderson, he was a good running back for the Giants. I'm going to go with Morton Anderson and Joe Girardi versus your Alonzo Highsmith and Jose Vizcaino.
I
Is
went at the name.
Anderson, is Anderson really in the Hall of Fame as a place kicker?
Morton Anderson? I
Yeah.
thought he was. Is he
I
not?
don't, I don't think so, Nick.
No.
Hold on. The
Well, he
jury's
should be.
out.
I have no idea. Nick's going to Google it, and then I feel like this is going to be
This is going to decide it. So if he's in the Hall of
He is.
Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Chris wins.
Yes.
that hurts.
Thank you, Morton Anderson. That was huge. That was huge. We're all about kickers today. We're asking about kickers, getting kickers cards coming up.
Big
Nick,
kicker energy.
does Chris win?
Yeah, Chris wins.
Love the special teams here.
Joe
Thank
Girardi
you very
makes it
much.
The Hall of Famer.
Everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Chris, you know what? I actually kind of like going baseball, football.
You like that mix? We're going to have to
kinda
figure it out. It's got some
up.
technical issues, but
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be on this show if it.
we'll have to throw in some basketball now. Basketball season starting. Maybe a little hockey. We'll do a 4-man team.
Oh God,
I have no idea who the hockey player is.
No, that's a hard pass. All right, Kevin wanted to know the last question, so I'm going to give it to you guys real quick. This would have been to win a GVR shirt, but Chargers traded Eli Manning for Phillip Rivers on draft day. Big Ben was part of that historic quarterback class. Browns drafted a QB that year. Which Louisiana Tech QB? That's kind of a big clue. Did the Browns select 4th round that year? The answer was Luke McCown.
That was a tough one.
That was Josh's little brother, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
Correct, yeah.
Didn't he had a great commercial. God, I think it was like Verizon or something. It was like the only backup quarterback to ever get like a real commercial.
Oh,
you guys remember that?
And that wasn't that long ago.
No, and it was kind of a weird commercial. We'll have to bring that back. Not as weird as the Spitzer commercial or whatever car company.
Oh my God. That one's weird.
Yeah.
And our line hasn't played well since that commercial came out.
Better Network, as explained by backup quarterback Luke McCown.
Verizon has backup generators for most of their towers, so they're ready if the power ever goes down. I wonder why they save those backups and not just put them in the regular rotation. I bet if they just had the chance, some of those backups would really shine.
No matter what happens, a reliable network has your back.
There you go.
That's a good commercial.
That is a good commercial. And he's sitting there kind of forlorn, just looking at these backup generators.
Free plug Verizon.
That's right. Pay us next time.
Yeah, there we go. All right, my bookie. Let's look at Chargers Browns. Season in full effect at my bookie. Time to get in the action. Browns fans, get started. Double your first deposit, giving you the firepower to add excitement to the games you love. Stop ripping Baker for missing throws. Bet the overs on Nick Chubb. Bet the overs on Kareem Hunt. Parlay it with some OSU football. Get those paydays way up. Go make winning season this year your best ever with MyBookie. Sign up with MyBookie. Use promo code BIGPLAY, one word BIGPLAY, to get your first ever deposit match dollar for dollar. Extra money credited to your account instantly just for using promo code BIGPLAY. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right. Before we get into any bets, obviously Chargers are on right now. Don't really know how they're looking. Good preview, though, of Browns versus Chargers, obviously. Justin Herbert. Gut feeling, guys, going into this game. Chris, what are instant thoughts?
Chargers already up 7-0 in this one. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the Browns offense does. I really am, to see if we can look in sync, Baker look competent. I think going back to the basics on offense right now are going to be key. So, if we execute the way we were the first couple of weeks offensively, and then the last couple of weeks defensively, it doesn't matter what team we're playing in the league. I think we're going to be good. So the Chargers don't necessarily scare me, although going out to the West Coast is always tough for Cleveland teams historically. But nonetheless, I think we need to worry more about ourselves than our opponent, and just continuing to grow. So I'll be looking to see if we can take that next step now offensively and really correct some of the wrongs that we had this week.
Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Chris. I think a lot of the offensive stuff will sort itself out. Obviously, Baker is going to do the whole no excuses thing, and it's year 4, and he laid an absolute clunker out there, but we heard it from Dan Lobby. He has the shoulder thing. Then you put Odell back in the equation, and you're minus Landry. It was also a weird thing. It was Baker's first game ever in a dome, which you think is kind of, okay, maybe a net positive, but in that loud environment that Minnesota has turned into a difficult
Is it really?
play. Yeah. Isn't it crazy? It's a dome, and they create artificial snow and drop it from the roof.
Wow. He's never played
pretty bizarre.
Detroit.
Nope.
Huh.
It was the last time the Browns played in a dome was against the New Orleans Saints, and that was Tyrod Taylor. So that was the game where he overthrew, I believe it was Landry, and it was Rashad Perry, or it was Callaway got on his horse and caught that touchdown. We almost won the Saints game because
Callaway, Jesus.
Zane Gonzalez missed like 5 kicks in that game. But anyways, it was Baker's first game in the pros in a dome, so that was very interesting and different for him. So there was just so much that went against the Browns, and they still walked out of there with a W. That's the best part of film session Mondays, is when when the team could just walk into it not feeling depressed. You still got the win, but you still get to look at yourself at really your absolute worst and find ways to correct it. And I think that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns are going to do heading into Los Angeles. Get into some warm weather. That's where a lot of these guys train. Baker trains in Dallas. Odell lives in California. So I think this will be a good get-right game for this offense.
Did you notice one thing on that dome? You brought that up. Isn't it kind of weird with the shadows there?
Yes, and I think that initially I was like, is the shadows throwing him off? Because whenever he was in the dark and the receivers were in the light, at least in the beginning, but then once the day kind of progressed, the shadows became less and less of an issue. It was weird, and I've been in that stadium before, and the way that it's laid out, there's shadows all over the stands, there's shadows on the field. It's a very unique and really just a very strange place to play football because, Minnesota's cold outside. And when I went to the game in the year that stadium opened, it was like hot in there, like stuffy, like they needed to turn the air conditioning on or something. So it's just super weird. I'm glad that's behind us, and I'm glad that they could just move on to California and then to SoFi, where it'll be another weird game, but there's going to be a lot of Browns fans there. I wouldn't be surprised if it's almost a bit of a home crowd feel in SoFi on Sunday.
Yeah, that's one of the larger Browns backers organization is out there.
Yep.
So I expect to see the same. But yeah, real quick on those shadows, it was weird. Like, I don't know. Do you guys listen to many Indians games? Tom Hamilton just loves to rail on shadows. And like that whole first quarter, I was just thinking, man, if Tom Hamilton is watching this right now, he would just be going nuts. Those shadows are just all over the field. It's got to be somewhat distracting, I would imagine. It was certainly distracting to watch the game.
Domes in general, man, I'm not a fan. Like, I went to Detroit's stadium, and it just felt like you're in the IX Center watching a game. It's super weird.
The IX Center.
That's a hard pass.
Have you ever watched baseball in a
looks
dome?
a little bit nicer.
Have you ever watched baseball in a dome?
You know what? I think when I was a kid, I went to Minnesota. I think they were in a dome.
I don't think I
went up to Toronto. Same thing. It was weird.
Yes,
I'm like, this is not a baseball. This is not a baseball game. Like it's exactly what you said. It's like I'm watching baseball at the IX Center. Like it just didn't make any sense.
Super strange.
Like there was a home run. I'm like, that was not a home run.
Yeah. I remember a guy, I don't know if it was, did Montreal have a dome? I don't know why we're talking about domes, but one guy hit the top of the dome one time.
Yes.
Yes. You remember that? Okay, good.
The catwalks and stuff usually would get hit. Was that there? I can't remember where they always hit. It happened like once a month where they'd hit one of the catwalks or something at some of these domes.
Let's look at some bets. So Browns covered yesterday, 1.5. The spread, 1 by 7, low scoring affair. This year, very similar. We are 1-point underdogs at LA. Chargers 2-1. They're playing the Raiders right now, 7-0. No spread has been set yet since it's still Monday. but they're saying Vegas is saying it's probably going to be about 1. So typically you get 3 if you're home.
Right.
Almost a pick 'em here. Are you worried, Chris? You were just talking about it. Are you worried about West Coast trip for the Brownies, even though the Chargers are on a short week here?
Sure, but in something like this that's already baked into the number, I could see this number flipping and the Browns being the favorite by the time they kick off, depending upon what happens on the injury report this week. And as long as there are no big surprises, I really, the momentum I think for the Browns is going to build right now. Even though it was a win, I think people are a little bit down on the Browns. But then as the week progresses, people get a little bit more optimistic and start saying, well, we're 3-1. This is a good team. We just had a hiccup, like Nick was saying. And I could see the Browns being a favorite by the time we kick off on Sunday.
It's probably time for the Browns to break another streak that wasn't in our favor. Browns haven't beat the Chargers on the road since 1991. Haven't played them a ton, but we've lost 5 straight at
Who was our quarterback back then? Was that Bernie?
When we actually won it? 91, probably, right?
Yeah.
Look that one up. That I would be curious to know that. But yeah, 5 straight to San Diego Chargers. All 3 Chargers games, by the way, have been 1-score games. So they beat KC by 6. They beat Washington by 4, and then they lost to the Cowboys by a field goal.
So the last time the Browns beat the Chargers out there, it was the Browns 30, the Chargers 24. The Chargers at that point were 1-7. We were 3-4. Head coach for the Cleveland Browns was Bill Belichick.
Yep.
Of course. Let's see. Matt Stover was our kicker at that time. Leroy Horde, 6-yard pass from Bernie Kosar.
There we go.
Yeah.
Leroy Horde, yes.
Leroy Horde, baby.
He was the trivia winning answer last week, Chris.
Oh, this one went into, how did this go into overtime? Yeah, it went into overtime. We won it in overtime. David Brandon returned an interception 30 yards to the house to win it. That's incredible. In overtime. That's fantastic.
That is.
And who was the quarterback for San Diego? John Freeze.
John Freeze. I remember that name.
I'd forgotten that name. Yeah, so boy, oh boy. Look at this. I'm just looking down the passing stats. Here are the players for the Browns. Of course, Bernie Kosar is your quarterback. Eric Metcalf, Joe Morris, Leroy Horde, Webster Slaughter, Reggie Langhorne, Brian Brennan, Michael Jackson.
What a wide receiving core.
I forgot how good it was at one point, man.
I didn't remember them all being on the team at the same time.
I didn't either. That's a weird one there. Huh?
Very interesting. We're going to have to get Reggie Langhorne on the show. We'll have to shoot him a text again.
Absolutely.
Hopefully this one doesn't go to overtime, but the over-under is set at 50. I believe last week could have been a shootout. It wasn't. I think it was 53. I think Nick said hammer the over.
Yeah,
50 this week. Nick, are you going to double down?
I'm going to, but I feel like a dummy for doing it because
if you go under, it's going to go over.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't force myself to do that. So I'm going to go with the over again, similar tale as last week, to what should be high-powered offense. We know what we got here: Baker, Odell, Higgins, Chubb, Hunt. Then you look at what they got over there, Justin Herbert. I'm with Dan, one of my favorite young QBs in the league. They have Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, who's had a breakout season for LA. So they can put up some points. We can put up some points. I think I'm not hammering it this week. I'm taking it, but not hammering it, if that makes sense. And I think it'll be a lot closer to that number than not.
So, Chris, do you think the offense gets back on track? I kind of put Dan Lobby on the spot. Is it going to be another shootout? I think it actually is. I don't think Baker's going to come out nearly the way he did last game. I think we're going to get a shootout between him and Herbert. I think it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, any word on Landry? Are we going to get Landry back?
No, he's IR'd, so he can't even come back.
He's still got another 3 weeks?
I think this is the final week.
Oh, this is the final week. Okay, all right.
Correct.
Well, it'd be nice to have him back.
Anthony Walker, Nick, is he going to make his return?
They haven't said he is
They're talking about
IR return eligible. Yeah, but
Right.
Stefanski they didn't comment. So we'll get a better read tomorrow when the injury report does drop. If he's at practice, he's going to be activated. Just because he's at practice doesn't mean that they'll activate him. And they could enjoy that extra, couple days of roster flexibility of really having 54 guys on the 53 before you have to cut that down by Friday. So interested to see what happens there, but I mean, you can't even knock Anthony Walker for not being there because this defense has looked so good.
Yeah, it's incredible. We've given up one touchdown over the last 2 weeks. When is the last time the Browns did that?
It's a lot different of an offense. They hired a really young and a really good head coach in Los Angeles out there, Brandon Staley, a local guy, product of the University of Dayton, was where he went to school, and then is just another one of those John Carroll blue streaks like Gab that finds their way into the National Football League. So JCU will be represented in this game. He's having a hell of a year as head coach out in LA with Herbert. So it's going to be a shootout this week. I'm feeling more and more confident about it.
Do you know what's funny? Like, going back to the offense, I saw some people on Twitter were like, I hope Nick Chubb can return to form this week. Like, he had
100 yards
He
rushing.
had 100 yards and he almost averaged 5 an attempt. Like, he didn't break one for 50, but he looked really, really good. I guess maybe he looks a little bit more mundane, a little bit more boring next to Kareem Hunt running like a wild man. He just throws his body into the air when he gets out there.
We're seeing the two extremes of these two finally, and we've made light of that, with the personalities and really the running styles too. That Kareem could do a lot in the passing game, and when he takes the ball out of the backfield, it's very violent and very all at once. Whereas Nick Chubb is more through the tackles and patient. And kind of just a smooth, pure runner of the football. So we've really gotten to see the last 2 weeks in these last two victories, especially the two polar opposites that is Chunt, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Chubb hasn't had a 15-plus yard run since week 2 when he had that 26-yarder. Chris, over under. Would you just go under real quick?
No, I just said cut him. He hasn't done anything in 2 weeks. He hasn't had a 26
said under. Nick Chubb, if I gave you an over under, or actually I'm going to let you set it. What would you be comfortable going the over on for Nick Chubb in this game?
I was shocked to see he got to 100 yesterday. When I looked at the box score, it didn't feel like it, did it?
No, I think it's because he didn't have one of those breakout plays, kind of like Kareem's been having, but slow and steady, man.
I think it's right there, go 95 yards, and I'm going over.
How about Kareem? So he's been
65.
That's probably right around there.
It's so hard with Kareem too because he's the team's leading receiver right now.
Yeah.
So when they do this, they do rushing yards predominantly when we set these, and you could do Kareem receiving yards as well in the props, but he is literally the team's leading receiver right now. So it's so hard to predict his rushing because they use him in so many different facets.
By the way, we almost hit another bet, Nick.
Did you?
We went less bets, more money. Didn't work out again, but that's okay. But it was Nick Chubb hit his rushing, Kareem hit his rushing. Baker Mayfield screwed us this week. We needed 253 out of him. He wasn't even close.
But I'm saying, man, these props are getting close. That's 2 weeks in a row now that it's been within one.
Yeah.
So once you get that offensive shootout, it's gonna hit.
We only need one win this season. That's all I'm looking for.
Really, if you get one win this season, you'll probably have paid for your previous 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Because it's only $5 or $10 bets at a time. So you cash one for $5,000, and it's only 17 games out of the year, and this ended up looking pretty good.
Hey, they're fun. They're fun. Throw a couple bucks at it. It's fun. Go double your deposit. Bet along with us. It's super fun. Justin Herbert, he's crushing it.
Yeah, he's really good.
337 yards, 338 yards, 281 yards. Don't know how many he's got tonight. I bet you he's going to have a bunch. We allowed 337 to Patrick Mahomes. Cousins, we shut him down. Defense starting to gel. He only had 203.
How
Nick,
about Fields? 5.
1 net yard passing.
That's right.
We got Mike Williams, you got Keenan Allen. Nick, you were talking about that.
Yeah.
Chris, prediction. Give me a score.
Give me the Cleveland Browns 32, the
Ooh.
Chargers 24.
Any fake punts?
I hope so. I mean, come on. We need something. I'd love to see a fake punt. I would actually like to see just some consistent good punts, to be honest with you. Come on, Jamie.
Come on.
Yeah. No, I'm
Easy
rooting for him.
now.
I'm not ripping on him. Come on.
He'll pull it together.
Come on, baby.
He'll
Couple
pull it
hammer
together.
lights.
Weird
All right,
game
Nick,
for him too.
Prediction.
I'm gonna go Cleveland Browns. Oh, jeez, this is a tough. I'm with Dan. I thought they were gonna win Minnesota, but I think they split these next two against the Chargers and
You got a
Arizona.
loss. Ooh.
But I'm going in this one. Cleveland
Noted
Browns,
Browns hater, Nick Padone.
28. Los Angeles Chargers 27.
Oh,
Ooh, okay.
1
got us
point
winning.
game. Push.
All right, I'm going high scoring again. I'm going Browns win 38-35. I think it's going to be Baker versus Herbert. I don't know why I think Baker's going to do well. I just think he is. There's no statistics or anything from last week to back that up. He's due, man.
He's due.
He's due. He's due. All right, let's quickly do best and worst tweets of the week and call it a night. Where are you?
Need some
Maybe.
music?
There we go. How about this one for Myles Garrett just a couple hours ago? Myles Garrett goes sleeveless for the first time, gets drug tested the next morning.
That's fantastic.
That's a pretty good one.
That's pretty good.
Good
He's
sport,
so
Myles.
good.
He
We're
is,
so
man.
lucky to have him on the Browns.
He's no doubt.
That blocked Jamie Meter kick made it all worthwhile.
Now I'm looking at these options, Dave, for best tweet. I don't see anything from Shelly Meyer on here about sweet corn or anything like that. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you, Dave.
Oh, are you now?
I am. Not to bring the show into the gutter or anything, but there was some news out of Columbus here over the weekend from one Urban Meyer who was getting kind of frisky at his pint house. I mean, isn't that situation kind of weird?
They're like, well, Reflug, let's wait and see this play out first. I was like,
Right.
It's a video. What do you want to? What's going to play out?
Well, what's funny is it did play out. It went from that video and it got worse today. The second video is yes.
Oh, there was
much
another
worse.
one. I didn't know that.
Oh, much more graphic. Much more graphic. Yes.
That
out today.
explains your tweet this morning.
Yes. So yeah, it just started out with a little simple grinding, just a normal night out, I'd imagine, for Urban Meyer. And then there was another video that was taken today. Well, it was taken at that night that was revealed today where his hand gets way up there.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Urban Meyer. This whole situation is kind of weird that they let him, the team flew back. Urban stayed here. Stayed in Columbus. I mean, that's kind of weird to let your team after a loss go back while you just kind of hang out. I understand you're hanging out with the grandkids, but the grandkids were gone pretty quick, and obviously some other activities ensued. Just a bizarre situation, and I don't know how long until he's out of Jacksonville.
Week 8.
I'd be surprised if he makes the season. He might pull a chud, not make a calendar year.
Yeah. Yeah, or who was our coach for the Cavs? Beeline. He's gonna make a beeline out of there.
Yeah, we'll have to get the averages when it does end for Urban Meyer and see who actually made it longer, Urban or
Shortest
Beeline,
tenure.
by the average.
There we go.
RIP.
Hey, Chris,
All right.
what about this one for best tweet? Jimmy Hanlon putting on the Media Ryder Cup October 22nd, 10 a.m. shotgun. Do you want to play in it?
Let's
Jimmy said,
go.
we qualify.
Let's go. Let's do it, man. We could take down those guys. I see some of those handles. J. Lou, we're coming for you. Come on, Jensen
No,
Lewis.
he's out
we
of
got
town.
you.
He actually won last year, though.
Jensen did?
Jensen won last year, but he is out of town, so there will be a new champion.
Oh, beautiful.
Little Mountain. One
I'm
of the
all
nicest
in.
courses,
Let's
by
go.
the way, in Cleveland, right, Chris?
What's that?
One of the nicest courses public in Cleveland. It was
Oh,
phenomenal.
it was fantastic. I played like crap, but it was a fantastic track.
All right, let's get into the worst tweet of the week. What do we have?
Daryl
Chargers
Reuter.
are up 21.
Daryl Ryder.
Ryder.
Oh, really?
Ryder. I always
Reuter
mispronounce.
Ryder.
I always mispronounce all our beat writers. Sorry, Daryl. And also, you may want to kind of fact check some of your tweets before you send them out. The last time the Browns started a season 3-1 was actually last year. Last year when we went 4-1. So it wasn't that long ago. I know COVID has got us all messed up, but kind of hard to forget our last successful season, which was just last year.
Wasn't a great one. Wasn't.
No.
Those are screen grabs.
Not one to put on the resume, Dave.
No, not so much. Oh, all right. Good show. Let's call it a night. Shout out to Shaq News. Go check them out on Twitch at Shaq News. Go check out shacknews.com. Check out all the video game reviews and content out there if you are a gamer. Go drink some Labatt Blues, Labatt Blue Lights, some seltzers. Switch to the blues as it's getting winter time now. Stay warm. TSC Cleveland. Go check them out. We gave away a Greedy Williams, fresh off that pick this week, jersey signed from TSC Cleveland. Stay tuned. We will do another YouTube giveaway next week. And apparently there's no comments on Twitter for now. So if you want to comment on the show live, do what Austin and Kevin and all those guys were doing. Head on over to YouTube and join the show there. And GV, go pick up one of these. They just restocked it, the Cleveland shirt. Nick, show yours off.
Yeah, they just restocked these too, Dave. They're
sweet.
sweet. This is like
Guardians.
so timely, man. The Guardians of the Gridiron. Pick it up, GV Art. Lakewood,
Very
Avon, Kent. Great stuff.
Now, I love these shirts. I am super jealous, though. Chris has a new drop in the mail. A new Bernie shirt.
Yes. Hopefully to be accompanied on our show with Bernie himself.
Oh,
we will see.
For Bernie.
I don't want to jinx it. Now I'm just trying to speak it into existence.
That's right.
They also just dropped another one because, like a good show co-host, I was on Instagram during the show during baseball cards.
Of course.
They have a new one for the California Browns backers, which Chris just said a little bit ago is one of the most passionate Browns backers bases. And it says California Dogs, and it's the state of California flag. And instead of the grizzly bear or whatever it is on their state flag, it's Swagger.
Nice.
Swagger, yes.
Isn't that so cool?
That's cool. All right, let's go get off the stream. Go check it out. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next Monday night. Hopefully wearing Bernie shirts with Bernie Kosar. We shall see. Talk to you then. Have a great week. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Here we come.
It's time! Streaming live from Cleveland, Ohio! Presenting the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight podcast of the world, The Big Play